Hey splashers, welcome back to the channel. I'm Prudence, and in today's tutorial I'm going to be sharing with you the step-by-step guide I used in creating this stunning abaya. From the cutting to the sewing, beading to embellishing, I've got you covered. So if this is what you're interested in, give this video a like, share and subscribe. Let's dive in. First, we are going to start with the cotton. So you need to fold your fabric this way, and then by the time you count it, it's going to be 4 pieces. So for this abaya, the front and the back, you're cutting it the exact same way. So the only difference would be the neckline. So as you proceed, you are going to see the difference. Next thing we are going to do is to fit in our shoulder measurement. So when you are measuring your shoulder on the client, you want to measure it past the normal shoulder line and then divide it by 2. Add half an inch to it and mark whatever you have at the top of the fabric, as you can see me doing. The next thing now is to get our shoulder slant. So to get our shoulder slant, we'll be subtracting 1 inch from the top of the fabric, and from that 1 inch we are going to be marking 3 inches inward from the beginning of the fabric so as to get our slope. So we are connecting these 2 lines together in a slanted form. So next is to divide our bust measurement by 6 and add 1.5 inches to it to get our chest line and our armhole. So after doing these calculations, now whatever you have, you place your tape at the beginning of the fabric and then mark whatever you have. For this particular one, I had 10. Remember, abaya is a very big kind of gown, so it has to be a wide, everything about it has to be wide. So we are just going to connect these 2 lines together. Now we need to fit in our bust measurement, and for our bust we'll be dividing it by 4 and adding half an inch. So just mark whatever you have on the chest line there. So we'll be connecting these lines together so as to get a perfect curve. Next, we are going to mark where we'll be fitting in our waist measurement. Take note, this differs. So for this particular one, I'll be using 7.5 inches, but it differs. Okay, it depends mostly on the height of the person. So your waist or your bust measurement, you are just going to mark exactly that bust measurement and then connect them together, because this is an abaya. Okay, it's something that's free from the top to the bottom. Now the difference from the bust and the waist shouldn't be much, so you just subtract 1 inch. So after measuring the bust, you don't have to measure the waist, because you just subtract 1 inch from what you already have as the existing bust and then connect them together. Now for the rest, you might decide to mark out your hip measurement, so you know everything about it is big, or you just decide to slant everything straight from the waist to the end of this fabric. But for this one, I just gave it a little curve and then make it straight to the end of the fabric. So the next thing we are going to do is to get the curve for our armhole. Okay, you know your armhole is not straight, so just fold your tape into 2 rather than stressing yourself to divide, and then go in by half an inch. That is to get the curve for our armhole. So what we'll be doing now is to connect from the shoulder line to that half inch, and then from that half inch to the end of the bust measurement we already fit in. So you can use your French curve for this or a freehand. So just give the neckline a little curve. Just make sure you maintain that 3 inches width we subtracted before. We'll be cutting them the same now, but later would make them different through their necklines. So we're just going to cut this out. If you're enjoying this video, make sure to give it a like, and then this is what we'll have after cutting it out. So separate 1 piece of it, and then from the shoulder mark out 6.5 inches for the front neckline. So this depends on how exposed you want your chest to be. So for this one, I don't want it very exposed. So if you want it very exposed, you can decide to go lower than that. So make sure to open this up so you don't cut the front and the back neck together. So I don't want this to be a sharp neckline, so I gave it a little curve. It's a v-neck with a vibe of this curved neckline. So this is what we'll have opening it up. So this is basically how to cut the borders. So move to cutting the sleeve. For the sleeve, just fold your fabric. We'll be cutting the pair of sleeve together, so this is 4 pieces by the time you're counting from the edge. So I have this lace design. I got 1 yard, so I just divided it by 2. I'll be using each part for 1 sleeve. So you can get this in the market, or if you have a nice lace, you can actually trim this off and use it. So just mark out the length of the sleeve you want. Make sure to make the length longer than your actual where your normal sleeve should end, because everything about abaya is big, though we have different types. So I have a tutorial on how to cut a perfect sleeve, so do well to check it out. From calculating your sleeve cap to fixing your round arm measurement, I have that tutorial. Make sure to check it out. So we're just going to mark this out. Let me know in the comment section if you have any questions about this. So after doing the formalities of cutting this sleeve, we are just going to go ahead to fit in our round arm measurement on this point. So your round arm measurement, you divide it by 2, add the same half an inch you added to cutting the normal borders, and then mark your length, fold it into 2, or you divide it by 2, rule that out. So we are going to be creating something like a flare at this point. Okay, the sleeve is also going to look like an A-line. So after straightening this up, just slant it to the end of the fabric. So I'm just using this lace trim I have to be the boundary for where I'm stopping. So we are going to give this sleeve the necessary curves it needs. If you notice, these lines are merged, so they are not just there for formalities, they are actually very necessary. So that is why you need to check out my video on how to cut a basic sleeve. So we are just going to go ahead to cut this out and then proceed to sewing. So when you want to sew, you open this up, you make sure you place your lace trim to cover the main fabric a little and then leave the edge. So this is what we'll have after joining it. You are just going to join it. So I went ahead to cut facing for the front and the back neckline. So we are just going to bring out the front neckline and then place the facing. So after placing it, we'll be sewing it round with half an inch and then turning it backwards. We'll do the same for the back. So this is what we'll have after turning it for the back, and this is what we'll have after turning it for the front. So you can decide to top stitch or use your hemi gum on this. So for a neat and better work, you can use your hemi gum. So the next is to join our shoulder line. Make sure this is well ironed before you join them. Just follow this step I'm using. This is like an inner sewing so that your neckline will be smooth after joining the shoulders. So this is what it should look like after joining your shoulders. And make sure you iron every process. Any part you join, make sure to iron it so that you can achieve the best. So the next is to attach our sleeve. So just attach it like the way we attach sleeve for a normal neckline. We are not joining the borders first. So this is what it should look like after joining the sleeve. So we are already making progress. We have this design we are going to be using to run through the neckline to the end of this fabric. So you're just going to be sewing each end of this design. You can actually get this in any store that sells tailoring materials, and you can get them in different designs. So this is what it looks like. So the next thing, we're just going to start with joining the sleeve and continue with the borders. So just use the half inches we used before. So as you can see, I trimmed out this already made stones, so they are already on the transfer sheet, and I went ahead to place them on the neckline and every part. So you can choose to do whatever design you need. So I'll just show you how to go about it, putting it on the back part. So after trimming them out, you open them up. They have this sticky part of them, so you place them in whatever pattern you want to achieve. After placing them, make sure to check properly before proceed to ironing them out. So just look at this pattern I'm taking. Basically, just place them the way you want them to be. So the next thing you'll be needing is steam iron. Make sure to wet each of the stone design and then press them. Press till you're sure it's properly stick to the fabric. And then if you are not sure of how to do it, make sure to place a clean cotton fabric on it. So once it's sticked to the dress, you can go ahead to remove the transfer paper and re-iron on top of them to secure them. So this is basically how to fix your already made stone. So the next thing we are going to do is proceed to the beading. For the beading and decide to do any design. So just use a pencil to mark wherever you want it to be, so that by the time there are mistakes, you can be able to clean them. So from the back of the fabric, put in your hand needle. This is a normal sewing thread and a normal needle because it is quite a big size. So just put in three of those and then secure them. Make sure you do all tackings at the back and tack properly, so by the time you're doing the laundry, this doesn't get ripped. And then this is what we'll have after fixing for all. So I made a mistake there. That's why I encourage you to use a pencil. So I'll erase that later on. So put in three beads, secure them. Make sure you're securing them at the back of this fabric and make sure you provide enough space for it. You don't want them to fold. Okay, so stretch them out and see where they are going to end and then tack at the back parts. Make sure to do each of them separately. That will make them last longer. So this is what it looks like. It looks like a drop, a raindrop or something. So proceed to using our like that to burn up those rough edges underneath. So this is what we'll have after finishing it. So if you want to know how I made this rope I used on the waistline, let me know in the comment section below. Do well to drop a comment, subscribe, and like. Until next time, keep splashing.